Hey guys, this is Sam, and basically a couple months ago, I felt like I wanted to teach others financial literacy. I think it's becoming more of a passion of mine, so I think I'm going to do that on my YouTube channel now. Essentially, as millennials, there are a lot of things that I feel like we should have been taught while we were at home or in high school or in college, and most of us has made it all the way through high school and college before learning some of these things. And, and these are big things that really affect our lives. Okay. And so I'm not saying I'm a super professional or a CPA or anything like that, but, I've gone through a lot of bad times financially. And because of that, I've learned a lot. All right. And so at this point, my loss is your gain. Okay. I'm going to be sharing all the things that I've learned in my years after high school. Up until this point, I graduated 2007. Now it's 2017, so 10 years. And basically, the information is going to be useful. It's going to be relatable. One millennial to another millennial, and actionable. Okay, and so things I teach you, you should be able to do right away, apply them to your life right away to help save money, to help make sure that you don't get into bad situations. Okay. If the content does sound good, obviously, if it's down your alley, please subscribe to help support. And I'll see you on the other side. All right, guys, so let's get ahead and start on this PowerPoint real quick. All right, so it's probably going to be a two, maybe even three-part videos. All right, so credit cards. All right, so what are credit cards for, right? A lot of the times I feel like, most of us, we use them for, luxury items. Like, we want to buy the new Jordans, we want to buy the new iPhone, new Galaxy. Ladies, maybe they want to buy a nice new expensive bags. And what, at least what we know what we're supposed to be using for is for emergencies. There's all types of rewards that are associated with them. And then also in certain situations they won't accept even a debit card and you may need to use a credit card to reserve. But, from my 10 years, what I really found out is that credit cards should be used to help build your credit, okay? Your credit score. And so essentially, what that does for financial institutions is that it builds trust and credibility. And then also it does affect your credit score, okay? By getting a credit card, for example, it affects your credit score very largely, especially at the beginning. All right, let's see here. All right, so how do they work, right? So essentially, we're borrowing money and we're saying that we're going to pay it back at a future date. All right. And if you leave a balance on your credit card, then that's when it starts to charge interest. If you go from 1 month to another month with a balance, then that's when you will start getting interest on the next month. All right. So, and then also, if you do make on time payments with your credit card, then of course your credit score will start to go up. Right. So those are kind of some obvious things that we all need to know about credit cards and whatnot. And so I will also say that it also is the start of your credit, as a young person who doesn't have, a mortgage and an auto loan, maybe you do. If you got a credit card first, that was basically the first form of credit that will lend to your or affect your credit score in general. Okay. And so before we get on interest rates, I'll say this. I used to be super scared of credit cards. Okay, so I mean, when I was younger, I thought credit card debt was probably like the worst thing in the world. And I'm not saying it's not a bad thing, but what it did is scared me out of getting started with it soon. Okay, and so basically, you know, if you know about credit cards, if you know how they work and how to use them, you should actually get started as soon as possible. If you understand how they work, then you're better off starting sooner because basically by the time you actually need the credit, to get a car loan, to get a mortgage, then your score will probably be where it needs to be to get better terms. Okay, so basically the longer you wait to start your credit, the more the more it's going to negatively impact you on your future loans and terms, okay? Because you basically will have very young credit when you're about to start getting these types of things, okay? So you really need to think about that. You can't just say, okay, I'm not going to get a credit card because I don't want to go into debt. Well, when it's time to get an auto loan, they're going to see, oh, this guy doesn't have any credit, and that's going to impact you way more than if your credit isn't as great as you'd like it to be. All right, so that's something to think about. Anyway, let's see here. All right, so interest rates. Interest rates are a major component that's tied to credit cards, and um, basically, it's how much it costs to borrow their money. The higher the interest rate, the more interest you have to pay. Okay, and the higher the score, the lower interest you'll have, and you'll be eligible for. Okay, so it's a reward for having a good credit score. As your score increases, you should definitely consider, looking or seeking out lower interest rates. Okay, because that's going to save you some money. That stuff ties into your monthly payment as well. Um, and so that goes with, I'm talking about credit cards right now, but interest rates are for everything. So I'm talking about mortgage payments. If you have any type of private loans, auto loans, the lower or the higher your credit score, the lower interest rates you'll be eligible for. Okay, so that's why it's important. Um, so again, there are most credit card companies aren't going to let you know that you're eligible for a lower interest rate when you are eligible for one if your credit score goes up, because they want to make sure that they're getting as much money out of you as possible. So you need to do on your own. You need to have due diligence and make sure that you have the best rate possible. Okay. All right. So what is a credit score? A credit score essentially is, your financial GPA, okay, or your report card. Um, like I said earlier, credit institutions, they basically use that to see how risky it would be if they let you money. So the higher your credit score, the more they trust you, and the more favorable rates and terms that you'll be eligible for. The credit score itself is between 300 and 850. Okay. All right. So as far as how the numbers go, this is a quick little chart. Um, you know, Outstanding credit is between 750 and 850. If you got these, then you're considered very, very low risk to creditors, and you'll qualify for most of all the best interest rates and pay terms and card features and memberships. Okay, and then if you are between 700 and 749, you have very good credit. You are considered low risk by creditors and would probably qualify for a lot of the low rates and pay terms as well. Next is 680 to 699, which is good credit. Okay, so I would say probably most millennials are closer to this range here. And we'll usually be approved for a lot of loans and credit cards at decent rates and terms. Maybe not the best, but not too bad. Um, I would call okay credit between 620 and 679. And you're at moderate credit risk, so they don't completely trust you, but they are willing to, give you something. You'll be approved for a good amount of stuff, but not the best rates and terms. All right, and if you keep going down, it's basically now you're in bad credit territory. You'll probably have to shop around to find someone willing to give you a decent rate. Some people may not even look at you because they think your rates are bad. Okay, and or if you get one, it's just not going to be favorable. You're going to have really high interest rates, really high monthly payments, things like that. And this is probably when you want to start thinking about getting a secured card. And I'll probably be talking about that in another video, probably the second video actually. And then lastly, there's people that can go even lower, which actually didn't know. 550 or below is considered very bad credit, as you would think, and you're considered a very high risk, so that creditors may not even think about giving you credit at all. You're gonna have to maybe even think about looking at credit repair before you can be approved for any type of credit card, and even a secured card may not even be guaranteed. So, but that's about it, guys. As far as this first video goes, I know it might have been a little long, so I wanted to keep it as short as possible. That's kind of the beginnings of the basics of credit cards. I'm going to be going into a lot of other stuff that's a bit just meat and potatoes that we all need to know, and then a couple of tips and suggestions that have really helped me, and as well as my own kind of story and how I kind of got screwed over because of some things I didn't know in my life. Okay, so um, please like this video if you feel like it helped you out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It'll be right here. This should be clickable right here on the right here. And then also follow me on Facebook if you're more of a Facebook person. Facebook.com/Sam Kukui. Link will also be in the description as well. So again, if you feel like this video helped you out, give a thumbs up. Go ahead and share it with some people so that they can keep up with this video series. I'll also have all my videos on my YouTube channel in a certain playlist so that if you miss anything, you'll be able to go back and catch there. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good one.